Student YO Universe.
Pinaka-latest sa pop culture trend.
Bringing the latest and the hottest trending topics. From the ultimate movers and shapers.
It's very interesting na ang daming nominations na nakuha ng The Artist.
To everything else under the sun.
I'm very excited kasi ito na yung Olympics eh.
We don't just listen to the student's voice, we amplify it.
Ayun po sa anti-planking law, parang sobrang lang yan. Kasi, di ba?
Because it's not just a student's world, it's our universe. Student YO Universe.
Good morning sa ating mga classmates ngayong beautiful Friday morning and hindi arbitrary ang pagtawag ko ng beautiful sa Friday morning na ito dahil ito na para at least dito sa UP Diliman ang huling araw ng Hell Week for most of us.
Malapit na matapos, 'di ba? Yung iba kagabi nag-all-nighter ganyan, daming papers na ginagawa.
Yung iba hanggang next week pa kahit na ngayon
extend din
yung iba nga abot hanggang sa kailangan nang i-encode yung grades eh.
Pero na hinahabol pang deadline.
Oo, pero dyan sa mga nagtatapos pa, i-push nyo lang, kaya nyo pa yung habulin.
#tiwala, ganyan.
Oo, malapit na ang summer kahit na medyo mapapahaba ang summer natin ngayon.
Yes.
Kasi nga, kaka-approve lang sa University Council level ang ACAD calendar shift. And ngayong araw, diba?
Ay, ang meeting, ng Board of Regents.
Oo, kung saan malalaman natin kung final na ba yun. And para naman sa ating mga chill-chill na lang, bukod sa ating pakikiisa tungkol sa ating mga saloobin tungkol sa ACAD calendar shift, ay pwede rin tayo mag-unwind ngayong umaga dito sa Student YO Universe. Ako si Nina.
At ako naman si Vince.
And of course, Student YO Universe is your one and only venue for some interactive, youthful, informative, and profound angle on anything and everything pop culture. Kaya ngayong umagang ito, we have an interesting mix nga. Nabanggit nga natin yung tungkol sa mga rules and mga ruling factors dito. Meron din tayong mga usapin tungkol dyan. And we've got books, films. Saya
music,
ngayong umaga.
diba?
Oo, talagang all around tayo ngayon eh. Pero
nakakatuwa ngayon parang range ng topics natin today. Parang iba-iba talaga yung pinanggagalingan.
Oo, or siguro talagang masaya lang tayo kasi pwede na tayo mag-unwind at last. Pero yun, bago natin pag-usapan ang mga topic na to, kailangan muna nating hanapan ng hugot ang mga to, diba?
Siyempre, hindi natin ito napupulot kung san-san. Siyempre, kailangan ang mabigay natin sa ating mga ka-universe. Siyempre, parang top-notch quality ng information. Wow! So, kaya naman, wag na nating patagalin pa. Alamin na natin kung saan nga ba natin nakuha ang mga topics na ito.
On Student YO Universe, we go deeper into what's hot, what's happening, and what matters to the youth. The YO Universal team is composed of 15 students who pull together recent pop culture news from the most relevant websites and choose the top 5 most talked about topics online. Our universe revolves around your voice because your voice is our number one choice.
Ayan, alam na nga naman natin classmates kung gaano tayo kung gaano ang YO Universal team ay nagpapagod para naman makuha ang mga trending topics na ito. All out of love, of course.
Tsaka kahit Hell Week, diba? Siyempre kailangan, all throughout the week, nag-aalat tayo ng time to find those topics na dapat marinig na ating mga ka-universe.
Oo, kasi pop culture doesn't stop.
Yes.
It always grows and goes on
It's
around
dynamic.
us.
Wow.
It
ganung words agad. Galing ba to sa mga papers na ginagawa natin? Kaya tayo, may mga words na ganito.
Oo nga, kung ano-ano na lang yung treatment natin sa pop culture ngayon, diba? Oo. So, wag na natin patagalin to. Dahil this is going to be a very interesting morning. Ito na ang
Number 5.
Number 5.
At number 5, Kim Jong-un, the current leader of North Korea, has released a list of hairstyles, diba? Na kailangang gamitin, sundin at gamitin ng mga citizens of North Korea. So there has been a viral report about yung mga North Korean male university students na nung sinundan nila ang unique hairstyle ni Kim Jong-un, tas kumalat ito sa internet. Yung recent visitors of the country say na wala namang ebidensya o sign ng mass haircutting. Pero may mga reports na hindi natin alam kung kanino talaga nanggaling ay sinasabi nila na nag-issue ang government ng isang order for university students na magpa-buzz cut tulad ni Kim Jong-un. Mga a few weeks
parang
ago.
naka-shaved sides. Nakita yung picture parang yung sa top lang yung matitira and then shaved sides. Yun yung bagong hairstyle daw para sa mga university students.
Oo, tanggalin mo yung mga nasa gilid-gilid lang, stay on top. Mga ganong hugot. So, ayun. Yung mga reports na ito ay nag-start sa Washington DC Radio Free Asia about an unwritten directive mula sa hindi nila alam kung saan na sa ruling Workers' Party ng North Korea, which alarmed students who didn't think their new hairdo would suit them. Tapos, according sa isang defector ng North Korea na umalis siya ng 2004, si Choi Chung-ha.
Yan, tama. I love it. I love
Grabe.
it.
The country does have its own fashion police. So,
wow, bongga.
akala natin sa mga
fashion
vlogs
police.
lang to, diba? Pero apparently, totoo daw ito sa North Korea.
May taga-check sila ng mga sinusuot.
Oo. Chine-check nila if they're dressed properly na for the youth, for adults, for workers of the government. Tapos, yun, for example, yung bawal sa kanila, at least noong as far as Sir Choi knows, na bawal daw gumamit ng lapel pin with images of former leaders Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. Tapos bawal din magsuot ng blue jeans and clothes with English words. Kasi 'di ba talagang as far as we know, kasi sobrang controlled nga ang information dissemination from North Korea.
Parang they're enclosed out in their own government, 'di ba?
Oo. Na talagang yung what is produced here is all that's going to be used here. Tapos ngayon, yung orders na para magpagupit, they weren't much of a problem. Kasi karamihan naman daw talaga sa mga North Koreans, conservative and neat ang hairstyle.
So parang sakto nga na pag-shaved side kasi hindi aabot sa tenga yan. So parang neat na yung tingnan for the male university students, diba?
Oo. Pero etong peculiar, nung 2005, talagang literal na may gera against men with long hair. Wait, hindi ko alam kung literal, sorry. Medyo
literal na gera. Mga long hair na North Korean sa labas, ganyan.
Sorry, napahaba kasi yung tulog ko kagabi kaya medyo antok pa ako. Pero ayun, the government went against men with long hair, not necessarily a full-fledged war. Pero it led anyway to a campaign which required men to keep their hair no longer than 5 centimeters or 2 inches long. Tapos, old men and women lang in general yung mga exempted sa campaign na ito. Tapos, nakaka-curious lang, 'di ba, na kahit na unconfirmed reports ang mga to, tapos we don't really know what we're getting from North Korea in terms of
reliable sources ba, 'di ba?
Oo, na parang we still pick this up, na parang na-desensitize na tayo sa ganitong thought na pag ganyan talaga sa North Korea. Is this the effect of the internet na parang na-socialize and na-normalize na yung attacks natin on the North Korean government?
Ako, for me, parang in some way merong effect yung internet kasi 'di ba alam mo natin nag-exist yung mga memes kay Kim Jong-un, so 'di ba we're familiar sa itsura niya, parang shaved side ganyan and all. Tapos parang sa tingin ko parang in a way the internet also created a barrier for us to connect to what truly is happening inside North Korea. Parang we only believed what we saw on the internet, pero hindi natin sure kung verified source ba, 'di ba?
Siguro kaya natin iniisip na lahat ng nakikita natin sa internet ay totoo about sa North Korea kasi nga very controlled ang kanilang culture, 'di ba? So ang mga press releases, mga balita, they're straight from the government. So talagang I think we want to think na there's a bit more liberty kapag nasa internet na yung siguro since hindi ito nakikita since labag ito sa guidelines ng government, this must have a legitimate source from somewhere inside na ayaw lang nila magsabi.
Oo, tsaka parang kasi lahat nga since 'di ba, parang one source na lumalabas from North Korea, we already believe it kasi nga 'di ba, since they are very enclosed in their government na parang we don't have other sources to verify it, 'di ba? So parang tayo, whatever we find on the internet about North Korea, for example, ito nga parang pagbuzz ng haircut and all, parang we already believe it, ganyan na wow, ganyan pala yung nangyayari sa North Korea.
Tas siguro wag na lang tayo masyado munang mag-assume kasi parang tayo na yung tumatakbo ng government nila, 'di ba? Na we should at least yung let them paano ba? Let them have some sort of presence. May claim naman sila sa sarili nila. Lalo na things are rosy between them and South Korea every now and then. It's not as bad. The situation is not as bad as we think. Like, minsan nababalitaan natin may mga threat ang North Korea sa South. Tas, Korean friend of mine has said na they're not really intimidated by it.
Okay.
So, parang wag natin masyadong seryosohin lahat ng nakikita natin sa internet.
And di ba parang sa internet meron ding presence ng parang exaggeration, di ba?
Oo.
And parang as a general rule, no, wag lahat na nakikita sa internet ay paniniwalaan.
Oo.
Diba?
Especially since this is politics and medyo,
yes, true.
Medyo shaky itong topic na to. Anyway, I guess we can move on now from this kind of heavy topic to something na lighter and probably
joyful. Pwede tayo magsaya, ganyan.
Siguro matutuwa ang ibang tao mga dito.
Yes.
Ito na ang
number 4. At ang ating number 4 sa mga fans ng The Fault in Our Stars, matuwa ulit kayo dahil ang book ni John Green na Paper Towns ay gagawin na rin isang pelikula.
Woo!
So, sabi nga dito sa ating report ay after ng, di ba hindi pa na-release yung The Fault in Our Stars? So, after ng craze The Fault in Our Stars, ito naman yung susunod pa na Paper Towns na na-acquire yung paggawa bilang film ng Fox 2000 and they're going to release the film kapag na-finalize na daw yung cast and kapag parang lahat ng people behind The Fault in Our Stars are willing to work again in Paper Towns. Kasi interestingly, the people who are working right now for The Fault in Our Stars are also the ones who will work for Paper Towns.
Yeah, so talagang easy na lang ang workflow kasi kilala na nila ang isa't isa. Matanong ko lang, nabasa mo na ba yung Paper Towns?
Hindi ba?
Kasi well, what other John Green books have you read?
Wala, sorry. Wala
okay.
pa.
Kasi as of late, parang nakikita natin na isa sa mga pinakasikat na books ni John Green ay ang The Fault in Our Stars nga. Na this is no secret naman na it's about two teenagers with cancer who fall in love.
Spoiler joke. It's not.
It's one of the first things you learn about both of them. It's in the first chapter. Tapos, Paper Towns, it's one of his lesser known books, pero I liked it kasi para sa akin ang strong point talaga ng mga John Green books ay not quite the romance. I like the friendships that he talks about in his stories.
Parang gusto mo kung paano niya viniview ang friendship sa kanya mga books.
Oo, na parang sobrang free lang nila na they're also comfortable with one another, na this is the kind of friendship you want to have, that level of openness. Pero ba't ba natin pinag-uusapan ng friendship? Nag-feels tayo, umaga pa
okay lang.
Pag-usapan ulit natin yung
Paper
Towns.
Balik tayo. Ayan, sabi dito sa ating report, even before the highly anticipated movie adaptation of John Green's another book, Fox 2000 had announced that they already had the rights to the movie adaptation of Paper Towns but was dropped due to creative differences. So this happened around 2008. Alam ko na parang meron ng isang company talaga na naka-own ng rights ng Paper Towns pero hindi natuloy dahil nga doon sa creative differences. Tapos sabi pa dito na, tulad nga sinabi ko kanina, yung team behind The Fault in Our Stars will also be working for the Paper Towns. And then yung isang character sa The Fault in Our Stars na isang actor na may gagampanan na character sa The Fault in Our Stars na si Nat Wolff ay siya yung gaganap na bida sa Paper Towns na ang name niya ay Quentin. Tama ba? Quentin?
Yeah. Quentin.
Oh
my God.
Quentin.
May joke ako dyan yan si Quentin Tolentino.
Oh God. Anyway.
Yay. So gusto ko lang kasi malaman kung ano yung role ni Nat Wolff. I think kasi sa The Fault in Our Stars na I think he's one of the closest friends of the leads na from the best friend to the lead.
Ayun, so parang magandang transition yun na parang from being a sidekick ikaw na yung bida ngayon. Wow.
So, ayun. Pero, it's so interesting na this news came out in the wake of another bit of news about books being adapted for the big screen.
True.
Kasi,
recently Divergent, di ba?
Oo, kasi, kakalabas lang ng film na Noah.
Oo nga.
Noah isn't the point. The point is Logan Lerman. Kasi nung isang press conference for Noah, he stated na the Percy Jackson movie series, which he has starred in, will not be continuing.
What?
Wala ng third film, ayon kay Logan Lerman.
Oh my gosh. Akala ko parang ang plans pa lang is yung The Sea of Monsters, yung actually recent film, recent installment from the Percy Jackson series. Parang iuulitin. Pero ngayon, they're not really continuing.
Hindi na talaga nila yun gagawin. Probably because I have seen a lot of negative reaction.
Especially The Sea of Monsters.
Oo, na yung mga, kasi masyado daw maraming liberties yung movies with the books, na siguro it kind of contributed to the fact na hindi na nila gagawin.
News yan.
Oo, as in talagang I have even seen petitions na tapusin na, not just yung mga random online petitions na yung nasa Twitter, na retweet with this hashtag.
Change.org.
Oo, talaga sa change.org nangyayari.
Yes.
So, with this, how do you think nagbabago yung dynamics na from books to screen? Kasi, siguro, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't witnessed this myself, pero siguro dati yung mga tao curious how books will turn out on screen. Pero
kung paano magiging itsura niya, di ba?
Oo, pero ngayon medyo divided na may division talaga ang mga fans. Kung gusto nilang magkaroon ng book to film adaptation na yung the Harry Potter films talaga polarizing kada film. True. Yung actually, ako nga, minsan nakakalimutan ko yung Goblet of Fire. Tapos, Hunger Games, divided yung opinion doon. Divergent, it has been relatively faithful to the book daw, kahit na di ko pa napapanood.
Actually, parang sinasabi nila, maganda yung transition from the book to the film, pero what they're saying is, were they able to really capture the main point of the book? Parang maganda kaya ito yung scenes na ganyan nalagay, pero parang in general, in totality, nakuha ba ng Divergent na film yung gusto ring iparating ng Divergent na book?
Well, I haven't watched it yet, so we'll find out.
Me too.
Pero how do you feel about movie adaptations in general, na yung the experience of reading the book before watching the film, yung tapos when you watch the film, you're having images imposed upon you na nakita mo na itsura niya, tas siguro producer pa nga yung author, so yan talaga yung itsura niya. So how do you feel about
Well,
that?
interestingly enough, na-experience ko na yan pareho. For example, sa Hunger Games, napanood ko yung film before I read the book. So what happened to me was while I was reading Hunger Games, nagkaroon ako ng idea ng mga itsura nila and yung setting, so it was faster for me to read the book. Pero yung before watching Catching Fire, syempre, after Hunger Games, I immediately followed with Catching Fire. Nabasa ko yung Catching Fire before actually watching the movie. And siguro sa case lang to ng Hunger Games trilogy, hindi naman nag-disappoint yung film ng Catching Fire. Pero I think it matters for a reader to actually see kung ano yung nangyayari sa libro visually. I mean, yeah, your imagination can only help you so much, pero mas maganda kung makikita mo talaga siya, pero kailangan yung pagkakagawa. Parang, hindi naman perfect, pero parang it should follow the goal of the book.
Ako, I think, ang magandang gawin siguro for mga book to film adaptations is gawin silang complementary na the book is adequate na, hindi man yung sakto lang, pero the book is good and it gives you enough to appreciate and understand the story. It gives you enough para ma-imagine mo. Pero ang maganda sa kung gagawin mong film adaptation is if you give information na supports what's already in the book, na parang imbis na sasabihin mo lang sa interviews, this is what really happened. Parang mas congruent, diba? It completes the experience.
Parang they will try to incorporate what's in the book dun sa film. And parang, wait lang what can you say dun sa mga, di ba meron mga scenes na nilalagay sa film na wala sa book? Parang, these are additional scenes na parang dinadagdag kasi it's a film, it's different. Ikaw, ano masasabi mo?
Ako, I think okay lang naman na siguro as long as hindi na madedefy yung logic ng book, na minsan kasi nagdadagdag ng scenes just because they look good and then it creates plot holes. So, ayun. Just, I think it's a collaborative effort talaga. Between the fans, the producers, and the author.
Speaking of the people behind, meron lang akong thought, parang ikaw ba, yung mga tao ba na nagpo-push nitong paggawa ng Paper Towns into a film, sa tingin mo ba they really do it kasi they're fans of the book or because they want to earn more money because there is a big hype to John Green right now?
Yeah, that's always a question.
Yes.
Pero, yun nga, hindi na talaga reliable ngayon as an extra source of income ang mga film adaptation kasi, yun nga, nag-flop yung sa Percy Jackson. So, wag na tayong masyadong umasa.
It's not always a Cinderella story.
Talaga na-connect sa story, no? Yun. So, I think we should just watch out for it, especially since,
good luck sa team ng Paper Towns.
Lalo na, isa to sa mga lesser-known books na maybe it will make the audience appreciate Paper Towns more after this. So, ayun, maraming salamat mga classmates sa ating medyo madrama na first
At sobrang
segment.
daming feelings.
Ang dami natin hugot ngayon. May dalawa pa tayong segment. So, ayun, abangan nyo lang yan mamaya mga classmates. Huwag kayo aalis at magbabalik ang Student YO Universe.
Student YO Universe.
DZUP 1602 ay kasapi ng KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Sa DZUP 1602, kasali ka! Welcome back mga classmates dito sa ating second segment ngayong umaga ng Student YO Universe. Ako si Nina.
At ako naman si Vince.
And during the break, medyo nag-enjoy kami dito sa mga classmates. Siguro naman
tawa habang break.
Alam niyo yung game na 2048 na you join numbers to get the 2048 tile. Marami ng versions na nag-crop
may
up
dog
dito.
Ganyan. Dog pala dog.
May Girls' Generation version. Tapos meron naman isang version na naka-fill up na yung halos lahat ng tiles with the 1024 tile. So you just have to press one key.
And then the message, yun yung important, yung message, classmate Nina.
So laruin nyo na lang yung itong version na to, ipopost ko sa Twitter. I-follow nyo na lang ako. Mamaya, classmates. So, para makita nyo yung version na 2048. Anyway, huwag tayo masyadong masaya kasi may iba pa tayong pag-uusapan ngayon dito sa Student YO Universe.
Pero di pa tapos.
Oo. Pero bago yan, invite muna natin ang ating mga listeners na makisama sila sa ating diskusyon.
Yes. Syempre, para alam nyo kung saan lalaroin ng 2048. Joke lang. Pwede nyo i-like ang aming official Facebook page. That's www.facebook.com/StudentYOUniverse. At syempre, pwede nyo i-tweet ang inyong comments about the program at i-follow ang aming Twitter account. That's www.twitter.com/SYOUniverse.
So, ayan na mga classmates. Medyo may halong comic book /film/ environment awareness.
Yes. Ang ganda nga ng mix.
Sa ating susunod na topic. Ito na ang
Number 3. At
number 3, Spider-Man supports Earth Hour.
Yay!
Particularly here in the Philippines.
Dahil
mga classmates, ang Earth Hour ay ngayon ng Saturday, March 29.
Okay.
Sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam, although I'm not sure kung ilan na lang ang hindi pa nakakaalam nito kasi this has been a tradition for the past few years. Since kailan ba to? 2008? 10? 8? Or something around that time. Ang Earth Hour ay isang buong oras kung saan everyone will switch off their lights and use very little electricity for a full hour to conserve energy.
Okay.
Lalo na, tsaka to prevent emissions kasi may mga harmful chemical emissions din ang mga appliances and gadgets natin kapag masyadong matagal natin ginagamit.
Yung heat, diba? Naging sciencey.
Oo. This Earth Hour will be observed this Saturday, March 29 from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. At magbibigay ng message pa sa atin ang walang iba kundi si Andrew Garfield.
Yes, ang gumaganap na Spider-Man ngayon, diba? Sa reboot.
So, ang message na to ay ibibigay sa Eastwood Open Park sa Quezon City. Pero wag kayo masyadong ma-excite dahil video lang to.
Hindi talaga siya darating ng with web slings, ganyan.
Kasi kasabay na to ay nasa Singapore siya with his co-actors Emma Stone, Jamie Foxx, and director Mark Webb sa Singapore. So, medyo malapit lang naman pala. Fly na tayo doon. Okay. He is the first superhero ambassador for Earth Hour. And he will help switch off the lights across Singapore's Marina Bay skyline. Onti na lang Manila Bay na. In addition to Earth Hour, dun sa Eastwood event dito sa Philippines, yun nga, meron ding recorded message from Russian cosmonaut Mikhail Curin, I'm not sure if I pronounce it right. Please let me know. Na siya ay nasa International Space Station and may ipa-play ding video na grabe hanggang videos lang tayo sa kanila. He will remind the world how beautiful yet fragile the planet looks
parang
from
ang
space.
ganda no. Parang makikita mo na sabay-sabay magpapatay ng ilaw yung mga tao dito sa Earth, 'di ba? And parang makikita mo yung parang blue marble. Wow.
Oo, yung minsan 'di ba may mga nakikita tayong mga gif na ganyan sa Tumblr. So ayun, Earth Hour is a flagship project of the Worldwide Fund for Nature or WWF na I think nagsimula ito sa Singapore and it has become a global movement. Kaya naman pala nasa Singapore si Andrew Garfield.
Ayun pala, classmate Nina, 7 years after, so that's 2007.
Oh my gosh. So ako yung mas malapit. Sana pala nakipagpustahan ako sa'yo. Ngayon, 7 years after the first light was switched off in Australia, the initiative has created a massive ripple all over the globe with numerous countries now preparing to switch off their famous landmarks.
Yes.
Diba every year, yung hindi naman pinapakita sa TV yung worldwide na pag-switch off ng ilaw from outer space. Ang mga tinututukan talaga yung pag nagpatay ng ilaw sa Eiffel Tower, sa Statue of Liberty. Tas tayo usually sa Mall of Asia.
Sa Luneta Park, ganyan.
So, how helpful is this taking up a good cause for celebrities? Kasi balikan din natin nung release ng National Commission for Culture and the Arts ang kanilang list of ambassadors na parang they forwarded a good cause with that list na greater appreciation for the arts, 'di ba? Tapos yung greater yung nagkaroon ng parang mixed reactions tungkol sa list na to. Na,
kahit na yung iba hindi nag-agree sa specific ambassadors na pinili, di ba, ng NCCA.
Pinili lang sila kasi sikat
because
sila.
Because they're popular,
Can we draw a parallel between that and this?
For me kasi, itong Earth Hour, kaya nila pinili sa Andrew Garfield and yung Spider-Man, yung image na yun, I think it's for them to have a wider involvement of people. Kasi di ba alam natin na parang Spider-Man is a household name already, di ba? Na hindi lang parang yung kids yung familiar, pati yung parents nila and all. And parang it's a great way.
It's a great start.
It's a great start.
To forward initiatives. Yan. And speaking of Earth Hour, kung saan tayo ay makaka-experience ng isang oras ng kadiliman, ay nagpapag-greet ang ating classmate na si Robert.
Hi,
he tweeted me just now
na
ayun, pag-greet ako. Parang rock na ito lang ang dating. Pero ayun, wag na tayo masyado mag-stay sa Earth Hour. Basta makikilaho ka ba, classmate?
Yes,
and I will also join the movement.
Abangan ko yung video ni Andrew Garfield.
Okay. I will also join the movement. I hope everyone joins the movement. Pero
8:30, tandaan natin.
Let this not remain a movement. Sana maging talagang this is the start of something good.
Yes. Akala start of something new, tapos biglang papakanta ka, ganyan.
Grabe. Grabe ha. Pinapangunahan mo ang ating number 2 topic porque tungkol sa music
to. Well,
segue
yun. Segue.
Sige, ito na ang ating number 2.
Number 2.
At ayun nga, ang ating number 2 ay ang Mixed Music Awards 2014. So, di ba parang in the recent weeks, di ba pinag-uusapan natin yung mga foreign award-giving bodies. So, ngayon naman, it's time to go on our own. So, ang Mixed Music Awards recognized artists in the local music scene noong March 26, 2014 sa isang mall sa Taguig. Ito ay Wednesday, kung saan ang nakakuha ng biggest award of the night ay ang bandang Parokya ni Edgar, kung saan nakuha nilang award na Mixed Magna Award. So parang ano ba to? Parang Magna Cum Laude, ganyan, parang ganun yung levels. Speaking of graduation, diba?
Ay!
Ayan.
Hindi ko pa yung problema. Love you guys.
Tapos ang banda Parokya ni Edgar nga ay 20 years strong na sa ating industry. At sila din, aside from winning Mixed Magna Award, sila din ang nanalo ng favorite group. Tapos naman, ang rapper na si Glock9 and yung rockstar na si Rico Blanco, ang big winners of the night dahil sa mga napalanunan nilang awards na favorite music video, favorite song, favorite urban video, and favorite collaboration for the song Magda. Familiar ka ba sa song na yung classmate Nina?
I'm not sure if I've heard it kasi yung, alam mo yung minsan ino-on ko na lang yung radio tapos kung ano yung mapakinggan ko, sige, go jam.
So, ayun. Sabi nga ni Glock9 sa kanyang Facebook post ay, lahat ng papuri at parangal sa inyo ko po ay itinataas, Ama. Salamat po sa mga biyayang ito. So, it's nice na Glock9 even though na hindi siya, relatively hindi siya ganun katagal na artist, parang he appreciates everything that he receives nga sa music industry. On the other side, nanalo naman ng pop princess na si Sarah Geronimo ng Favorite Artist Award, and siya rin yung nanalo ng Favorite Remake Award for the song It Takes a Man and a Woman.
For the film. Parang lagi na lang remake ng mga classic love songs ang title ng mga Filipino films. Anyway, moving on.
Parang hindi na sila mag-isip ng ibang song na igagawing original soundtrack.
Anyway.
Tapos, ang rockstar naman na si Bamboo ay nakakuha ng 3 awards na Favorite Male Artist, Favorite Rock Video, and Favorite Media Soundtrack for his song Carousel. And yung artist naman na kumanta ng Chinito, familiar ka ba yan ito? Sobrang viral ng song na to.
Medyo LSS ako sa kanya last week.
Ang kumanta ay si Yang Constantino. Siya naman ang nanalo ng Favorite Female Artist. And sabi niya sa kanyang Facebook post ay, "Thanks youngsters ko." Yun yung tawag niya sa kanyang mga fans. Kung may believers, may youngsters itong si Yang Constantino. Sabi niya, "Grabe, hindi ako makapaniwala na female artist na naman ako. Thank you, Lord."
Tapos since nabanggit natin si Bamboo kanina, may I just say na yung almost a year ago, yung may, kasi thanks to my dear friend na si Robert, na yun nga yung nagpag-greet kanina, thanks to him, I got a message from Bamboo.
Wow.
Saying na yung Enjoy the Ride Carousel. I really needed that this year kasi sobrang busy ng taon na to.
Carousel.
Yeah, parang pang-inspiration. So, ayun. Tapos may iba pang mga awards, diba? Ano pa ba yung mga ibang awards na na-recognize ng gabi?
Yung iba pang award ay ang Favorite K-pop Video, Wolf by EXO. Familiar ka dito?
Yes.
Tapos Favorite International Video, Roar by Katy Perry.
Familiar
of course.
ka dito?
Of course. Tapos Favorite Urban Video ng Magna and Magda, the song. And then it was sung by Glock 9 featuring Rico Blanco. Favorite Rock Video ang Carousel by Bamboo. Favorite Mellow Video, Magkabilang Mundo, Jire Lim. Paano kaya yung Mellow Video? Anyway, favorite guest appearance in a music video, si Kim Chu.
Ay, grabe.
Sa song na Disco Lamon ng banda ni Cleggy. Favorite mixed celebrity VJ, Abra. Si Abra yung isa pang rapper. And then, favorite new artist, si KZ Tandingan, yung winner ng X Factor Season 1, Philippines Season 1. Tapos, favorite group, ang Parokya ni Edgar. Favorite male artist, Bamboo.
Woohoo! Hindi ako pwede dito, biased ako. Okay, go ahead.
Favorite female artist, Yang Constantino. Mixed Magna Awardee, as we've said earlier, Parokya ni Edgar. Favorite artist, Sarah Geronimo. And favorite music video, Magda Ulit by Glock 9 featuring Rico Blanco.
So, talagang isa na naman to sa, grabe, March pa lang, mag-April na, pero March pa lang, ang dami na natin
award-giving bodies.
Na award-giving
From
bodies.
From Grammys to Oscars, diba?
Oo, na talagang, para sa'yo ba, does it still matter which award-giving body recognizes which artists? Or paramihan ba to ng kung saan ka nare-recognize? Or palakihan ng pangalan? Binabati nga pala namin ang ating classmate na si Andy.
Ayan,
dito sa booth ngayon. Although paalis na siya.
Ingat.
Anyway, so back to our question.
Ayan. So para sa akin, parang they still matter. Kahit na gaano kadami yung mga award-giving bodies na nandyan. Para sa tingin ko, they have their purpose, diba? Parang kung mabasahin natin itong rationale ng mga award-giving bodies na to, I'm sure they have their goals. Parang kung sinong artist yung i-recognize nila, hindi lang for the sake of giving awards, pero to actually giving recognition to those people who are deserving of the awards, especially sa music industry.
Tsaka lalo na ito medyo, this music award in particular reflects the shifting and the evolution of our music culture. Na lalo na tignan mo, sobrang ang mix may talagang flavor siya na local, diba? Na talagang,
they're promoting OPM.
Oo, pero meron pa rin siyang touches of the international music scene. Meron ditong yung from may western pop, may K-pop na talagang
well represented.
Oo, na it shows how our music sensibilities emerge. Oo, na talagang lahat na kasali kasi music, as we always say here in Student YO Universe, is supposed to bring us all together.
Yes, it's an international language.
Oo, pero mukhang parang lahat ng hindi, mali na sabi ko. Pero parang na-preempt ko, masyado kong maagang sinabi dati na yung may sinabi ako dati tungkol sa mga award-giving bodies na parang naubos ko na lahat ng talk points dati. Sana pala nagtipid-tipid ako, diba? Pero buti na lang, yung ang dami nating award-giving bodies na lahat ng tao ay nabibigyan ng awards, lahat sila kasali. Kasali ka! Diba?
So, staying true to our tagline, pero ako may question ng classmate Nina. By giving the highest award of the night to an OPM band, like Parokya ni Edgar, di ba yung Mix Magna Award? Do you think na parang it signifies na sila ang parang salvation? Hindi naman sasabi kung patay na pero parang sila yung reviving factor for OPM to be alive and kicking again.
I think itong Mix Magna Award, I think yung pagkakabigay niya sa parokya ni Edgar is a recognition of their long-standing career in music, yung perseverance nila to keep our music industry
thriving.
Yeah, yung hindi naman parang to pull people back, pero to talagang to acknowledge them na parang it's yung gets mo na sinasabi ko.
Na parang ibig sabihin na pag binigay mo yung highest award to an OPM band, parang sila yung driving force na nakikita ng Mix to actually pull themselves up in the music industry. And ayun nga, so parang makikita mo na parang they're really deserving. At mayroon pa isang point na gusto na i-bring up. Alam natin na yung mga rap songs ni Glock 9, there are mostly social commentaries about national issues. So sa tingin mo ba parang do you think OPM can actually be a great way for us to be aware of these national issues and reliable source ba of comments, opinions?
I think pop culture in general is evolving to become a tool for us to be more socially aware.
Yes.
Yeah, to be more critical.
Yes.
Tignan mo na lang sa mga dystopian novels Kahit na sobrang daming dystopian novels ngayon na sumisikat na yung iba parang mahugot na lang out of nowhere yung plot. Talagang we only pick the ones that really say the most and the most relevant things about the government and society in general.
Yes, ayan. So, congratulations.
Yes. So, bago tayo mag-pause for one last break before our final topic, nagpapabati muli si classmate Robert dahil hindi niya naabutan yung greeting kanina. Actually, buti na lang. So,
ayun. natin ulit.
Yes, hello Robert. And mamaya, abangan nyo ulit ang pagbabalik ng Student YO Universe para sa ating number 1 topic. Don't go away.
Student YO Universe.
Ang DZUP 1602 ay kasapi ng KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Sa DZUP 1602, kasali ka!
Welcome back mga classmates dito sa final segment for the day ng
Student YO Universe.
Ako si Nina.
At ako naman si Vince.
At gawin na lang nating mabilis ang ating pagbabalik tanaw, Nox.
Yes.
Sa ating mga trending topics kanina dahil medyo nag-enjoy tayo sa mga discussion natin Starting off with number 5, Kim Jong-un implements, allegedly implements a list of mandatory hairstyles for North Koreans.
Yes, at number 4, Paper Towns soon to hit the big screen.
I'm excited for this.
Yes.
And at number 3, Spider-Man supports Earth Hour PH.
And at number 2, bago tayo mag-break, ang napag-usapan natin ay ang Mixed Music Awards 2014.
So, ang ating number 1 topic ay tungkol pa rin sa music.
Yes.
Actually, this can go for several things kasi hindi na lang music lang din ang dahilan nito. Pero more of music talaga ang focus nito. Okay, so ito na ang ating
number 1.
Number 1.
At number 1, House Bill 4218 or the OPM Development Act of 2014 ay na-file sa House of Representatives by Ifugao Representative Teddy Bagilat seeking to tax foreign performers in the Philippines. So balik, for example, kapag dumating dito yung favorite artist mo at nag-concert siya, may tax na siyang babayaran.
Okay.
So actually, 'di ba, parang since the start of the Aquino administration is parang talagang nakikita na natin itong mga government-sanctioned movements para mas masuportahan ng OPM.
There have been real actions towards parang buhayin ulit ng OPM, di ba?
Oo, yung pinakaunang ginawa ni Pinoy was parang executive order ata, I'm not sure. Basta he released something na an order para mag-play ng mas maraming OPM songs ang mga stations. Diba? So, ayun. Ngayon naman, may bagong development dito sa dito sa OPM na foreign artists are required to pay reciprocal equity fees equivalent to the amount that will be charged to a Filipino artist kapag sila naman ang nag-perform dito.
Sa ibang sa ibang bansa.
Yes. Where the foreign performer is where the foreign performer is from, parang yun kaya nga reciprocal, di ba? Sorry, self. I love you, self. So ayun, this will be collected before the artist performs in the Philippines.
So bago pa sila makarating ito, bayad muna, ganun.
So ang organisasyon ng Pilipinong Mga Awit o OPM ay isang non-profit group ng Filipino singers with members like Noel Cabangon, Ogie Alcacid, and Mitch Valdez na nagko-collect naman sila talaga ng equity fees from foreign performers for years according to the Memorandum of Agreement with the Bureau of Immigration.
Pero sabi din dito na parang hindi daw ganun ka-strict yung pag-apply nitong rule na to. Specifically sabi nila, meron daw specific producers na hindi talaga nagbabayad kasi nga hindi pa siya law, ganyan.
Tsaka mas mahirap naman kasi talagang kausapin ang mga foreign artists kapag pagdating na dito na magpe-perform sila tapos may needs pa.
And they usually come a day before, di ba, or hours before their concert.
Hindi nila masusulit yung bayad nila na pagpunta dito kasi they don't get to see the sights.
Yes,
and taste the food.
Yes.
So ngayon, ang organisasyon ng Pilipinong Mga Awit ay nag-charge ng 5,000 pesos equity fee to every foreign performer, choreographer, or member of the production staff. So, kapag pinagsama-sama itong lahat per act na dumadating dito, medyo malaki. Pero individually, ang baba niya. So, the equity fee goes to the Singers Welfare Fund ng OPM, which subsidizes the medical and legal needs of the organization's members. Akala ko pa naman, ang naisip ko nung una kong nabasa to is napupunta ang nakokolekta sa mga projects to further improve the perception and presence of OPM.
Pero dito pala sa Singers Welfare Fund.
Tas ano bang masasabi ng mga ating kaibigan na bastions of OPM?
Ayan, kanina nga di ba pinag-usapan natin ang parokya ni Edgar kung saan ang kanilang lead singer na si Chito Miranda ay nag-release na kanyang mga rants sa Twitter. Isa nga sa mga sinabi niya, habulin nyo yung mga pirata at yung mga illegal downloading sites, doon nalulugi yung mga Pinoy artists.
True.
Hindi dahil sa foreign act. So parang dito sa series of tweets na pinarating niya, gusto niya sabihin na wag natin i-blame yung mga foreign artists na pumupunta dito sa Philippines because it's not their fault in any way, sabi niya. So parang we should focus on improving ourselves, our songs, sabi niya, and parang we shouldn't drive foreign artists off our country, sabi niya.
Yun nga. Nung isang araw, March 20, may isang Facebook user na nag-post siya about something like this and naging viral siya. I shared it din Ang sabi niya, legally forcing Filipinos to patronize local products is stupid. Rather, emphasize and encourage the production of better music, films, TV, and yes, even comics. Filipinos aren't stupid. They aren't some massa that has to be pandered to. They know a good thing when they see it and they will patronize it. Wasn't On the Job good? Wasn't the music of Eraserheads and River Maya just awesome? People watched and listened to those things because they were good and not because we were forced to patronize them by depriving us of other options. Na parang ganito yung ginagawa dito. Parang siguro mas kinokontrol ng organisasyon at ng House of Representatives ang pagpasok ng foreign artists dito. So, continuing the post, you won't find me asking the government to force people to buy our comics because what? That's the nationalistic, patriotic thing to do? No, instead, I'm trying to work myself off to create really good comics that people will read on their own without being forced to. So talagang hindi lang natin pwedeng gawin ang gusto natin as artists and then expect that people will do as you please. Kasi when these producers of media and other commodities na din create something, they expect the audience to act a certain way. They expect consumers to act a certain way. Pero hindi ito laging nasusunod. So talagang we have responsibilities.
Yes.
as producers.
And tulad nga ng sinabi mo kanina, di ba? Parang there were glory days of Eraserheads, Parokya ni Edgar, and merong nang existing foreign artists noon. So parang hindi siya necessarily fault nga ng foreign artists.
Yes, so talagang love what is good about what we have.
Yes.
Yun. And maraming salamat mga classmates sa pagtutok muli dito sa Student YO Universe na napakasarap ng diskusyon natin
another
ngayon.
5 topics has gone our day.
Oo, medyo na windang nga lang tayo ngayon. Okay, so sa susunod na linggo ay magsisimula muli ang Boses ng Estudyante Strip on Tuesday 10 to 11 a.m. with Lakwa Chika. And
right after ng Student YO Universe ay ang Talatugtugan from 11 to 12 noon.
Yes, ang Student YO Universe ay hatid sa inyo ng DZUP Radio Circle, the only org that goes on air, at ng himpilang ito, DZUP 1602, Kasali Ka! Muli, ako si Nina.
At ako naman si Vince.
At ito ang
Student YO Universe, where your voice is our number one choice.
Student YO Universe.
Pinaka-latest sa pop culture trend.
Bring the latest and the hottest trending topics. From the ultimate movers and shapers.
It's very interesting na ang daming nominations na nakuha ng The Artist.
To everything else under the sun.
I'm very excited kasi ito na yung Olympics eh.
We don't just listen to the student's voice, we amplify it.
Ayun po sa anti-planking law, parang sobrang lang yan. Kasi, di ba?
Because it's not just a student's world, it's our universe. Student YO Universe.